Hey, and welcome to the Ronnie J Show. My name is Ronnie Jacobs, the presenter for this fantastic show, and the opportunity to speak with you and to communicate and just have a great time together. I hope you're feeling well today, and I hope you're buzzing. I hope you're continuing to think positively, and make sure your mind is refreshed every day. Make sure your mind is ready to go for the next day. Say, this is my day. I'm going to make it today. Today we're talking about business. Okay, we've had some great time talking about self-development. We talked about coaching, and we're going to talk about relationships and families later on this week. So we'll try, and also events. So we're trying to add a lot of things to it so that we can all learn and we can educate ourselves during this time. Okay, so I hope that you enjoy the show, and if you're enjoying the show, please go over to our YouTube channel and like the channel, so that way we can continue to communicate with you. My name is Ronnie Jacobs, and today we've got some amazing guests. We've got Chucks, we've got Fred, and we've got Esther. And the three of them have coming from three different dimensions. Okay, we've got Chucks, who is an amazing CEO of his own business. So he's going to talk about how to protect your business during this recession period, how to protect your job during this recession period, and what's going to make you stand out, and what's going to make you how you can cope with all these challenges and all the recession and all the difficult times. And don't forget that whatever we say now, you can apply it to your business or apply it to your job after this period. So it's not just for this whole challenging time we're going through, but it's whenever you're going through a challenge, whenever your business or your personal life or your work or your career is having a challenge, these are some key things that you can do. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. As always, I always use myself as an example. I always give some good examples and some terrible ones. And I've got some terrible ones to tell you today, just one actually. We're looking at business now. We're looking at how to improve yourself, improve your career, and also how to improve your own business during challenging times. I thank you for watching our program. It is not easy. I think it's more difficult to be self-employed than to actually work as an employer, to be employed by an employer, because I think that you work harder when you have your own business than when you are employed by somebody else. It doesn't mean that you should work less. Someone once said to me that the way you distinguish yourself from anybody else when you are being employed or when you're an employee, is that you do the things that you're supposed to do when nobody else is watching. So you don't have to perform or be a peak performer when everyone's watching. You're the peak performer, but when nobody's watching you, you are not actually delivering or performing. So you perform better, you distinguish yourself, because when no one's watching you, you do better. So three key things that I would identify. Okay, number one would be, how do you work with people? So now that things are a bit challenging or your business is going through a challenge, I would always point the finger back at myself and say, okay, if my business is going through a difficult time, what am I doing that's making my business go through this difficult time? What am I personally doing? First of all, before I point the finger at all the things, or as I say, the macro environment, I have to look at the micro environment. What am I doing within my management, my organization, that is making my business to suffer? Yes, business factors, you have the micro and the macro factors. But first of all, I have to look at what are the micro factors, and going deeper, I have to look at what me as a director, what am I doing as a director? What am I doing as a person managing that business? How am I managing the people that work for me? Am I listening to them? Am I being a bully? Am I really understanding? Do they really understand that the business is going through a very difficult time, and what they do impacts that business? I used to run I used to manage a particular hospitality organization. And while I was doing that, I think because hospitality is every day, you can't switch off. You're constantly, even when you get home, your mind is still going through. Sometimes I don't leave there till about maybe 15, 14 hours every single day. So that took a toll on me. That took a toll on how I managed the people that were working there, how I managed my staffs, and I started to find myself to be more aggressive, and reacting very stressfully most of the time, and then I realized that my staffs didn't come to me to tell me what problems were. It was actually a hotel, and I always remember one day, and there's this customer complained that the toilet wasn't clean, and I was like, "What? How can the toilet be?" In my mind, I was like, "We've got like 8 cleaners. How can the toilet not be clean?" And I just took the complaint and I just stormed upstairs, got the supervisors, got the floor managers. So let's go for a walk. And we walked around every inch of every room, walking around the fourth floor, the third floor, the second floor, the first floor, making notes. And I was like, I didn't do that. But at the end of the day, when I now went back to my office, all exhausted and sitting there and having my coffee, I said, Ronnie, why are you only finding these out now? This is something that you should have checked regularly. This is something that you should have known. So you haven't done your job. If you had done your job to spot check maybe once a month or once a week and make that consistent, not like just spontaneously whenever you feel like doing it, you could have fixed this problem. You could have not allowed all these issues to grow to this point. So going through in your business, make sure that whatever it is that you are supposed to do, to be consistent at doing that thing. Manage your people more carefully and help them to understand what you are also going through. Help them to understand what the business is going through so that you all can work through that period together, because everyone's worried. Everyone's scared about what's going to happen to them and how they're going to cope. So shouting and being a bully or being ignorant and not understanding all that, it's not going to help. Another thing I also notice is when it's time, when a business is going through critical periods, it is very important to reduce your overheads, reduce your costs. You have to identify what are the things that I really need, what are the things that I really don't need. So those things that you really don't need, just make sure that you reduce them, that you eliminate those costs. Like, for example, when we came into this all this period at the moment, I went through all the things that I felt that, okay, this was luxury. We don't really need this now. This is important, but it's not critical. We can do without it for the next 3 months. And then I started to cut off it and stop some payments and make sure that everything that the service that we're able to provide, the core service we're supposed to provide, should be the priority at that time with the small resources that we have. And finally, strategic thinking. Make sure that you have a long-term vision, and this is where the business is going to go. So even if you're going through a difficult time, your strategic thinking helps you to plan, make strategic decisions, not impromptu decisions. If you make impromptu decisions, they might end up affecting the long-term goals of the business and the objectives of that particular business. And all this is the same thing. If you're looking for a job at the moment and you're estimating, you're looking at 60,000 or 50,000 pounds a year job, you have to look at the environment. What is the environment employing at the moment? Are they still looking for those kind of high-end jobs? Are they looking, what else can I do? What other wage category can I search for? So that at least you're not out of work. At least you get your one leg in there and then build from there. I hope those 3 points, first of all, managing people, reducing your overhead costs, and having a strategic mindset, strategic thinking. I hope those 3 things can be of benefit to any of you who is watching, and it's fantastically amazing. Now I'm going to call our first guest for today, who's been doing some amazing work in their local Kent environment. Chucks has always been, he's a very good friend, and I'm so proud of what he's been doing and the work that they've been doing in the community. I'm so proud of how he's grown his business, and he's still growing his business. I mean, it's just amazing, man. All right, let's give our first caller a call. And thank you all so much. Please subscribe and click the like button. Together, we are making a difference. Together we are making a difference. And if you would like to be a guest in our show, please drop me an inbox. And we've got some amazing, amazing regular guests. And I'm so proud and so thankful to you all for all your amazing work that you do. And I hope that we continue to grow together and get ourselves ready so that we run as soon as all this is over. Sorry, turn the volume down a bit.
I'll be 1 minute, yeah? Can you give me 1 minute?
Hello, how are you? Hi, Chucks, you on live for now? How are you?
I am great. How you guys keeping? Good?
We are good, man. We are good. I heard you say I'll give you 1 minute there. I was like, oh, God.
No, I'm good. I'm good to chat.
Amazing, fantastic. Please just tell our listeners about Kent Housing. I know you're a regular guest, but just so they know a bit about you.
Okay, hi. So my name is Chucks, as usual, and I'm the owner CEO of Kent Housing, accommodation company based in Kent, and we provide accommodation for construction companies, film companies coming to Kent, business travelers, holiday makers. So that's kind of our business. We're pretty much hotel in a house. Yeah, we provide home away from home, pretty much a home away from home.
Amazing, amazing. Just tell us a little bit about the community work that you're doing before we talk about the business side.
So one of the big things that our ethos with our business is that we give back to the community. So we have a big program called Food Brigade, where a percentage of our income goes back into giving back to the community. So we support the the food bank.
Yeah.
And one of the big things we're doing now is that, as you can see me on Facebook and LinkedIn, is that well, obviously at this time of need where there is a lot of the people who run the food bank are pensioners.
Yeah.
They are obviously isolating. So the food bank, the help is very minimal now, So what I've done specifically myself now is that I've gone on the road and we're dropping food at various food banks in the town.
Yeah.
And then the other so when we drop it off, they take it to the actual food bank and they take it to the people. So that's a very big part we're playing now at this time of lockdown, which is very critical. Food is rationed now, as you know. So we're pushing it out and making sure that we're going out there and taking food to people, to families who require food, and we're making sure these families have food on their tables. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's a big part of what we're doing now.
So you're doing this just in Kent, or you're doing this just within the community?
It's mainly
where you
in
are?
Kent. Yeah. Yes, mainly in Kent for now. Yeah, because like I always, my ethos is charity begins at home.
Yeah,
you know. So where we sow, we plant back. Yeah. So a very big part of what we do, we sow in the community. This is where the community feeds us, put food on our table for all the staff. Yeah. So the ethos of what we have is that we have to give back into the community. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's a key part of what we're doing. So we're sticking here, and obviously the work we do with yourself. I mean, you got me into this mindset of give back.
I'm glad.
So Council Africa has been a major part. Like I tell a lot of people, and I tell you, you're my mentor. You got me into the idea of giving. You got me into the idea of making things happen. 4 years ago, I met you. And I saw the good things you were doing. I picked up the phone and called you, and I remember you came off to Kent, and I suggested we do the 30-day, 30-day fitness challenge, where we raised funds for your foundation. So, and it's been since then. You've put that hunger in me.
Keep it up, man. You're doing an amazing work, and continue to do that work. So for those of the viewers who are listening, we want to talk about how to protect your business or how to protect your job during challenging times. So I'll let you just talk for a bit, and then I'll take a few notes, and then we'll just go over some of the things that you said.
Okay, I think one of the key reasons why we linked up on this call was pretty much you wanted to kind of find out. The idea was to share some knowledge of saying how if you're in business, what you should be doing in this time of lockdown.
Correct.
And one of the key things I always tell people, the number one thing is mindset. Yeah, there's a lot of a lot of people are in fear. A lot of people are panicking. A lot of people don't know what to do. You know, the government has put up this package. We don't know when we're going to get it. You know, so there's a lot of panic up and about. You know, but one of the things that I always say is that you've got to have that belief in yourself. That you have to have a belief that
Correct.
One, it's all going to be good. Yeah. In the end, it will be good. Yeah. So you need the mindset first to say, you know what, I'm not going to give up. You know, I'm going to keep doing like I was explaining to yourself that before the lockdown, we had some properties, some portfolio properties that come to us.
Correct.
And we had some nurses and doctors coming from India. And I don't know if you know about the lockdown in India now. There's a lockdown by the president, Mr. Modi. So that pretty much knocked us for 6. I mean, we got all the properties ready, and they called and said they're not coming again. There's lockdown.
Wow.
So you can imagine that we're in a position where we've gotten properties but no clients. But we had the belief that, you know what, we're going to have to shift this, you know.
Yeah.
And so we didn't make any rash decision. But luckily for us, some of the hotels kind of shut down in the area, and they brought clients to ourselves, you know. So is that constant belief that you've got to keep having that belief that what am I going to do to get my clients in? Yeah. What next? What other options are there? Yeah. So it's pretty much looking at options at various angles and saying, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this happen? And having the belief that something will definitely come true. That's the key thing. Your mindset has to be right. Yeah. That's the number one thing. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So and the other thing, the other thing is obviously sales. I mean, marketing. Where do you? I mean, a lot of what we're finding is that a lot of people stop now. They don't say that much. You know, they're quiet. The promotion they used to do, they have stopped it. They're not advertising. But that's the wrong mindset. Yeah. You have to keep. I mean, for us, we have to keep advertising. Facebook, LinkedIn. Google AdWords, we sending emails to our clients. We still have to tell our clients that we're there, you know, because most people would have drawn. Most of our competitors have stopped that, you know. So what I always advise businesses is that you have to keep being in the eye of your client so that they see you don't stop. As most people stop, you raise your gear up. You step up on the pedal and push it and make sure you're doing a lot of marketing there. Third thing I would say is reading books. You've got to read. I mean, for me now, I'm reading a book called Shoe Dog. Shoe Dog is by Phil Knight. He's the guy who formed Nike. You know the sports company Nike. It's a good story for anyone to read. You've got to, I mean, you've got to expand your mind with reading, because what reading does with Phil Knight, he went through a challenge where he's gone through a recession trying to create a company. He's got an idea, and it just and what that does, it helps you to set your mind ready to know that, you know what, I mean, he came through at the end. It's one of the biggest shoe company in the world now. I mean, multi-billion-pound company. And the good thing is that it helps. You can relate to it, you know. And when you read, it inspires you. Reading inspires you. So I always say, read positive books around this period. They would inspire you, because people have gone through this lockdown, recession. Other people have gone through, so this is not the first time. So the more you feed your mind with positivity, that's why I like listening to your positive, your positive moments on a Sunday. You know, your positive moments.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you.
because the more you feed your mind with positivity, the more you start seeing possibilities. Yeah, and that's very critical, and that's why, like I said, I hold dearly to what you say. When I need positivity, I call you, and you give me that momentum to say, you inspire me.
So if we thank you so much for the compliments.
You're welcome.
So if I'm looking at your second point talked about sales and marketing.
Yes.
And I would like to believe that the way we market our business at challenging times should be different from the way you market your business on a normal day, on a normal environment where there's no pressure on the environment in terms of these kind of factors. Because I would like to believe that people need to understand that when you're marketing your business at a critical time like this, you have to tailor your marketing so that it's more of the emotional side, so that it meets the understanding the emotions of the people that you're marketing to. If you're blasting me right now to, come and do this without consideration of my feelings, without consideration of the emotions, I don't think that's gonna, to me, I think that's gonna bounce back. So taking feedback from what you're saying for the listeners, you have to understand the environment and understand how you market to your environment, and also understanding your customers, what they are going through and what they are thinking, and how can your product or your service be of benefit to them at that particular time. It is critical. What do you think?
Totally. I mean, I totally agree with you. And when I say marketing, is like, for example, a lot of our suppliers, most people, I mean, it's I'll pick up the phone and call the supplier and say, how are you? How are things going? How are you managing the situation? And for us, that is an indirect way of telling your client, I'm here. I understand the situation of what's happening in the economy now. How are you coping? Because what you want to do, you want to try and be in your client's mind, in the sense that you're caring for them. So it's not here saying, here's my product, buy my product, I want to sell that. No, it's not about that. Because a bit of a very sensitive environment that we're in now.
Is it a good time though? Sorry to cut you. Is it a good time now to start a new business?
Depending on how you see it, but I think I think there are a lot of opportunities. Because if you look at the situation of times, a lot of new businesses are. Sorry, you're going to say something.
No, go ahead. I'm just.
I think it's depending on how you look at it, because some people see, oh boy, this is this is a horrible situation. Some people see opportunities. And for us as a business, for me as an entrepreneur, I see opportunities as well. For example, rather than doing the business traveler market, I go to construction market, because I know the construction market is still working. They're still working though in the lockdown, So I look at that market, So I think there's opportunities. You just have to spot where you fit the opportunities. Yes, there's always opportunities. I mean, like now you can tell now most people are working from home now. So a lot of virtual. A lot of people are becoming now more virtual. So if people who are virtual assistants, will see this as an opportunity for them. More work for them, because offices now want more virtual people. So it's trying to position where you fit in the whole spec of things, really.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Chucks. You always fill me with knowledge. And our viewers and listeners will definitely please look at the link below for access to his business, and you can get in touch with him for advice and for business services. And it's amazing talking to you always. Talk to you next week.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Ronnie. Thank you very much. And keep inspiring, keep inspiring.
You guys give me the energy, you see. You guys give me the energy. All the best, brother. Awesome. Nice one.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Cheers.
Oh, the amazing guy. So we'll just give our next gentleman a call and just make sure it's just a lovely day.
Hello,
Hi, Mr. Fred. It's Ronnie Jacobs. You're live on air. How are you?
I'm very fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. Your lines sound so clear and clean. I love that.
Oh, that's good. That's brilliant. I'm in the studio at the moment preparing for a live show too. So
Yes,
I was
yes, yes.
concerned that there'll be a bit of ambient noise, but if you say it's clear, then that's brilliant.
No, it's very clear. I really enjoyed your show yesterday, and I don't know where you get the energy to do two shows a day. I must compliment you for that.
Well, it's a bit tiring, but opportunity to since we don't get to play football every Saturday, we need to do something to burn the energy. There's too much energy that needs to be burnt.
I know. I see you doing that for 2 hours, and I was like, wow. I'm looking up to you, so that we'll get there soon. We'll get there one day, okay?
I'm trying to cut it down though and make sure the content is a bit richer.
Okay, no, I mean, I think the one for yesterday, you had the music playing and different discussions. I think
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I think I was fell asleep halfway. I was so tired, and I just got like, I really enjoyed that. Well done. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Today we're talking about business. We're talking about how to protect your business and how to protect your job during recession or during hard times. So I thought I'll pick your brains a bit. If you give our viewers, we talked about the first caller, Mr. Chooks, talked about having the believing mindset, have the right mindset at this moment, and he talked about how to sell and market and how to be more innovative at this time. And he also talked about reading books. Those are his three key points. So I don't know if you want to just have your little say, and then I will just discuss some of your points afterwards.
Wow, wow. I would like to borrow from him because at this time, I am actually trying to cut down on the amount of production I'm doing for the singular purpose of spending time to read and to study.
Mm.
So it's interesting. I didn't watch the program because I'm in the middle of doing some quick edits. I'm introducing one or two sections in the show. So I have a surprise for everyone tonight. But that aside, um, reading is key. I believe that learners are earners.
Mm.
And one of the things that I am trying to focus on, because I believe if I invest in myself, then I'm investing in my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we need to invest in our thinking. I like to twist the English language sometimes and say things that might sound a bit different, but
Sorry.
I feel your thinking.
Yeah.
If you are thinking,
Yeah.
check your thinking. It may be stinking.
Yeah.
The way we think about everything.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if you feel that you are worth it,
Yeah.
then you are worth it. But if you think you are not worth it, then you're not worth it. It's all in your mind. I believe our life moves in the directions of our dominant thoughts. So instead of just hoping help will come from outside, yeah, we can have mentors and multipliers and motivators and people that inspire us. But the first person you should focus on for your business is you. Are you the product? Are you thinking right about your business? Are you expanding in your mind the possibilities of where you can go? So that's how I like to start. And you do that by thinking big, also thinking small. I know people say think big. I like to think big, but I also like to think small. Attention to small details. Take time out to study. To be honest, I feel that my assignment is to activate greatness in people. And that means I need to be ready to serve. That means I need to be ready to develop my capacity to make a difference in someone's life. For example, you and I are friends. I hope I'm able to bring value to you by serving your vision. And that is very powerful. If I'm a midwife and I help you birth your dream, then I'm great because I'm unleashing greatness in someone. So I know I've said a lot. Sometimes I'm able to hold 2 or 3 thoughts at the same time.
No, I'm enjoying that. I'm flowing with you. And there's something that you said about during these challenging times, or if your business or your career is going through a challenge, one of the pluses things that you can do is investing in yourself, in oneself. And to invest in oneself, you talked about reading so that you could build your own capacity.
Yeah.
Because I talked about at the beginning of the show, whereby I said we always have to look at the finger that's pointing back at ourselves. When things are not going right, it not necessarily mean that the macro environment is bad, so that the micro environment has to be bad. We have to look at what are we doing differently. I mean, what apart from reading, what can you put your finger on to say, okay, if you do this, you can increase in yourself?
I asked myself a few questions this morning and I write it down. I talk to myself a lot because I believe there's power in speaking to yourself, So I asked myself, how do I maximize every single aspect of my life? How do I stop operating below installed capacity? I think one of the things one can do also is to learn to speak to yourself. Be your number one motivator. Learn to speak to yourself, separate yourself for a moment from who you are, and then be your own mentor. If you can convince yourself, then you don't need motivation from outside. It is helpful to be motivated from the outside, but I believe in self-motivation, Because how do I become the best version of myself? How do I raise my personal standards? What are the secrets to delve into self-efficacy and personal discipline? How do I tune myself and train myself and refire myself? Those are the things so that whether the opportunity is there or not, I create the opportunity.
True.
So I don't wait for opportunity to happen. I happen to the opportunity. Out of nothing, I try to create some. For example, at this time, everybody sat at home and I got tired of the news. I said, you know what? I'm going to create content out there that is different, something that is dynamic. And I had no plans but to do that. And I began to do it and it's improving. That's what I mean, Speak to yourself and don't complain about what you permit. You're not a victim of the environment. Many times we are like a thermometer, always reading the temperature. I'd rather be a thermostat to set the temperature, to regulate my environment.
So do you have to be a graduate in business management to be able to manage a business?
Of course not. I happen to be managing a business. I run a production company. I'm a clergy, I pastor a church, but that's just one of the things that I do. But I don't have any the school of hard knocks taught me about management. When you run up a debt and when you can't pay your bills, you learn to manage.
It's called street smart.
But I begin to ask certain questions of myself. What do champions do? There's a segment I'm introducing on my show called The Private Life of a Champion. What do those guys do that makes them key and top performers? I want to learn and I want to speak that to myself. So I want to read their books. I don't need to go to university when I can buy a book. I don't need to go through your own mistakes to learn from you. I can stand on your shoulder and learn from the best. I watch YouTube videos every day. I learn about everything. Everything from how to pump my tire, the bike I just picked up, an old bike I had, I'm trying to repair. I watched it on YouTube. I'm learning about management. I'm learning about saving. And after our talk the other day on your show, and you threw a challenge out there that how come, of course, people are very upset with you. And in fact, somebody called yesterday and they said that guy you spoke about on your show, bring him back. They were so upset, and the person was like, bring him back. He doesn't know what he's saying, But the truth of the matter is, look deeper, ask questions, learn,
I think I'll call again on your show and start some controversy. But what was it I said again?
Well, you said, how come you are broke at this time? Why did you not prepare for rainy days? All the time where there was no crisis, how come you did not save up? Basically, that was the gist of what we were talking about, preparing for times of crisis.
Deep. I think that'll be another topic for another day, so we don't get some people crashing all the time.
Well, what I would like to say is, I still come back to myself. I take responsibility to upgrade my thinking, to refine my focus, to be intentional about my choices and my priorities. People think they use social media. Social media uses them, I'm selective about what I watch, how long I watch, and the way I watch. I get on social media, but I make sure that I'm in control. I will not be a victim of social engineering, but I'll ride on it and maximize the opportunities I get. So you are still the focus. I am still the focus when it comes to my business.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Fred. It's always amazing and inspiring when I speak with you.
Pleasure, sir.
I just absorb everything, and I think by the end of the year, I'll be like a dictionary. I'll be like a walking dictionary, with all this knowledge.
It's good. I mean, wisdom and knowledge is powerful, especially if you can apply it in a practical case. And that's the difference between experience and seasoning. Experience is something that you've taken and tested over time, because the knowledge doesn't help. But when you can apply it.
Amazing. Please, just to let my viewers know, what time is your show and how can they get to it?
Well, my show is live on Facebook and on YouTube. If you go to Icon Towers Multimedia on YouTube and on Facebook, it's Icon Towers Studio. Every single day we're live 7 p.m. and 10 a.m. I'd like to say one more thing. Yesterday is in the tomb. Bury it. Tomorrow is in the womb. Birth it. Forget about yesterday. Birth tomorrow by preparing now. Let's focus on what we can do now. Forget about everything that's happened yesterday. You can be better tomorrow by birthing today. Be decisive. Be incisive. Be precise. Precision will never go unrewarded. Sorry, I'm sounding like a preacher. Maybe I am.
No,
but
you just go for it. Go for it.
We need to be focused. I'm telling you, after this time of shutdown, my earning capacity will have increased because I'm working on myself. I'm investing privately so that when it's time to perform, I am ready.
I love that. Thank you so much, Mr. Fred. Have a fantastic evening, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, God bless you. Thank you.
Bye.
Wow. That is just feeling, and thank you, guys. You guys are just busting my head, as they say, and just like, I'm so proud of you all, and you all at home, you all that are watching, I'm so proud of you too. I'm proud of you for listening. I'm proud of you for sharing the video. I'm proud of you for learning. We're all learning together. We're all doing this so that we can learn together, so we can build ourselves together, so we can grow together, so we can learn from each other. All fingers are not equal. All fingers are not equal. Everyone's different. But we're talking about business management, how you manage your business. The experience you have plays a part. How you deal with people plays a part. How you increase your capacity plays a part. Somebody once used to tell me years ago, you cannot give or do something with that you don't know how to do. I think that's the simplest way I can put it. Okay, you can only give what you have. You can't teach somebody what you don't know how to do. You can't perform better at work if you don't know how to perform better. You can't excel in anything if you don't know how to do it. So basically what I'm trying to say is, this is a time when you're going through challenge, when you're going through this difficult time. If you spend 8 or 10 hours at home just complaining, you have not added to yourself, but rather you've taken away so much energy. So this is the time to rebuild and refire yourself and build your capacity. And to build the capacity, what I keep hearing is, you can go and study. You can do short courses. You can read books. You can go on the internet, which has got everything that you need. We all need to build our capacity. Everyone's doing one little thing. Be consistent in that thing and build your capacity. Build yourself. All these will pass. Your challenging time will pass in your business. I understand there's some businesses that are really breaking down and really can't be helped. I understand that. This is an unprecedented time for everybody. But as an individual, build yourself. See how you can walk around the cost of your business, how you can manage your people better, how you can reduce your overheads to ensure that your business doesn't crash. I know that may involve letting some people go. And if you've been let go in your work, it's not the end. God willing, within 2 or 3 months, we'll be back to normal again. We'll pick ourselves up. I've had to cancel over 4 different shows, and I'm canceling another one next month. That's 5 shows, and these are very, very expensive events. But look, you know what? It's not the end of the world. Doesn't mean that, the whole earth is going to crumble. I have to think strategically. What is the long-term goal? How am I going to react? How am I going to ensure that after this crisis, I am ready to run? I can't walk. The next 4 months after this crisis is going to be very tight because everyone's going to want to do everything within that time. So you got to be ready. Don't be caught unawares. If you do what we do, like organize events, don't wait for this to be over before you plan or book your venues or get your events ready. Now is the time to be running. Now is the time, so that at the end, so when you're ready to run, when the embargo is up, you're kicking in there. If you got a product you need to sell, now is the time to plan and start marketing. So when it's time, you're selling. Don't wait for August or September and then you want to start doing your promotion and then you want to start doing your marketing. Then you've missed 12 weeks where you can actually access people. All right, amazing. I've just got one amazing person left, and I'm just gonna give Esther a call. She always cheers me up, and she's such amazing in her business and consistent in what she does. And I just wish her all the best, man. I just wish her all the best. It's a good time for us all, and we all keep encouraging one another and cheering one another up, and that's the best that we can do, you know.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hi, sister. How are you?
I'm good. I heard that. You cheer me up. How are you doing today? The show's amazing. I've actually had a chance to listen in today, so it's been amazing so far.
Thank you.
It's absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much. So for those of our listeners that are listening, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, please?
Absolutely. I'm a business owner. I'm a non-franchise business owner. I own a health, wellness, and beauty business online. So I basically what I do is I show people how to become financially free.
Sorry, do you want to just mute the
residual income doing what they do?
Sorry, yeah. I think your desktop or your phone or something is on, so you want to just mute that?
I am literally gonna go and knock it down because I was listening to your.
That's okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, go. Keep on talking while you're doing that. Mm.
Yeah, so basically what I do, my business is online, so that's a great thing. It's an essential business, so that's a great thing as well. So that keeps me busy. And I literally just show people how to create a residual income. Now, the guys were talking about earlier about businesses closing down, and a lot of small businesses especially are being affected right now by this closure of only having essential businesses available, and they have to be looking now at online. Some businesses don't actually have an online presence, which they should anyway. So I am also a web center owner within my business with an amazing partnership with MA Web Centers. They're in the States, but I can connect with people using this platform, using the online, and be able to help businesses as well. So it's such a great thing. It's a great thing to know that even in the midst of everything, you are rising above and you're looking at how you can help other people who are struggling a lot more with brick and mortar businesses, especially at this time. Yeah, for sure.
So is this period, is it affecting your kind of business, would you say?
No, to be honest, our business is booming. It's not really affecting the business as a whole. Why? Because we've always been online. It's an online based business. So we are able to get out to people a lot more, because a lot more people, you see people getting on Zoom, you see people getting on doing a lot more things online to like draw awareness. Obviously, you still have to keep your business in yourself and your business in the forefront for people to see. So
how do you do that though? How do you put your business in the forefront at the moment?
For me, it always starts with God. My life starts with just giving thanks for each day. They mentioned about books and how you talk to yourself and things like that. It's so important about feeding your own mind. You have to be in the right mindset. to start doing anything with anybody. And it's about making friendships. You have to connect with people. I'm connecting with people I may not necessarily be talking to on a daily basis, but I'm just connecting and saying, how are you? How are things going? So that is definitely where I come from. I'm always very much about the person. And then you get into the next bit where you're asking, how are they doing? Genuine. You have to be genuine in what you're saying and what you're, to another person, because you don't know the adverse effects it's had on them. I've had friends that have been laid off, because obviously they're not needed. And, the ones that are needed, we're all thinking of all our frontline, you know, medics and all the people like that that are actually working. So there's the people that people aren't even noticing are the ones that are the local. All around my area, I literally had to go to the chemist today, and all the local shops are closed because they're deemed as not essential. So I'm very much always around those people and thinking, how are they going through? How are they, how are they coping at this time? And you really do have to be mindful as well. As a business, it keeps me busy in that I can be connecting with people. I can, just talking and so on. But you have to think of the individual also. You're not really sure where they're at. I think you touched on something like that earlier. You have to know where you are is not quite where everyone else is. So you have to be mindful when it comes to business. I think that relational business is more important. Build that, and people will remember you when this is not, when this period is gone, because we are going to come through this period. It's just for a time. And yes, there's a lot of adjustments being made at the moment by many people, but I just feel that it's important to come from that kind of, you're not just selling somebody something. You're not just, just wanting to put a product in. So you genuinely want to find out, how can I help you? And that's where I always come from. So it's always about, how can I help you? What is it that you need? Your business needs an online presence. I can help you. Are you looking for, nutritional products or whatever? I can help you. So it's really listening. I think it's a key to what that person is looking for, because it could be someone who's now going to be open to new ideas, somebody who, has been wanting to do something, but this has now stopped them to think, what is my plan B? Do I have that, like they were saying earlier on, do I have that pot in the bank waiting? A lot of people don't. A friend was telling me just yesterday, thank God my husband's still working. Otherwise, we'd be really struggling, So you have to be mindful of what is going on and really tailor what it is that you are delivering to someone at the same time. So,
I agree with you. I agree with you about building genuine relationships with people and ensuring that you understand them much better. Would you say that there is a different way of how you are approaching your customers or your clients now, and then how you were doing it 3-4 months ago?
I think it's for me personally. I've always been an internet person.
Okay.
So I've always found that easier. It's always been harder doing the phone side of it, because a lot of people these days they'll text messaging or using this messaging. So, you know what I mean? That is just the way it is. So I'm actually getting myself out of my comfort zone and actually picking up the phone and talking to clients and talking to friends and just checking and making sure that people, when you hear another voice, it makes a difference. So even if you're sending a voice note to someone, it makes that little bit of difference, that you've just taken that extra step to just think of them. So that's kind of been what I've been doing genuinely. But I'm also connecting with friends that I've met in industry and different things, and we're actually doing fun things together as well. Not just keeping it business orientated, but also supporting one another in our different respective businesses, because as makeup artistry, you can't go out and start making somebody's face right now.
I know.
You can't, a model can't go and start modeling for some, and so you find different ways to connect with different people, and make it that, more fun. So that's kind of where I'm at. But obviously, as you know, I'm also building a business.
Yeah.
And so I am actually giving people an opportunity to learn more about what it is that I do, just evaluating it. Nobody's trying to take away from, yes, you have your business at the moment, it might be at a standstill or whatever, but you might be looking for another option. You might be looking for something else. So I'm always looking for people that are very open minded, that are entrepreneurs, are people that are always open to at least listen, because it may not necessarily be for you, but you may lead to the right people. You may know the right people that, oh my gosh, my friend so needs this. Somebody said that to me just yesterday. And I was so filled with joy because I said, get your friend onto my event. Let them learn about it. And it might be for them. So it's just keeping me more focused. Every day I start with I obviously pray and worship, and then I do my exercise. I keep my mind busy. It's really important. The mind, body, and soul has to come first. You have to feed it that beauty in the nutrition. You have to feed it from inside out. So get getting that exercise that you need in order to keep you body and mind, get the reading in, plan your day out. Plan what you're going to do the night before, plan it the next day. That's what I started being, because I used to do it, but I wasn't doing it consistently.
Yeah.
So now that's what this has actually focused my mind, because I said I can't go to any meetings. I can't go, well, I can do it online, but I use that time to like get myself even better, even more, like get my mind better, get my thinking better.
Yeah.
And the way in which I talk to myself. Someone was talking about books that they were reading earlier on.
Yeah.
And I've read this. I'm now on the second time reading this book. I just love it. How to talk to yourself. It's by, it's about the words, how you speak to yourself. I am great. I'm a friend making machine. I'm gonna meet so many amazing people and connect with so many amazing people. We're gonna do amazing things together. So you have to be always on a positive. We're all aware of what's going on right now. Nobody is not paying attention. We're all paying attention. We have no choice. This is happening. This is real. But what I'm saying is rise above, and your whole mindset has to be on that elevation of where you want to be, where you are going. And and we just have to lift ourselves. It's as simple as that. There's no excuses, no ifs, no buts now. You want to learn a new skill, learn a new skill. You want to learn about what I do, message me, get in contact, So it's very much about how you position your mind. That's the most important thing. And it's so true what I was saying earlier. If you are telling yourself, I can't, that is not even in my vocabulary. I don't use that word. I say, how do I, or how can I? Because you have to be thinking, how am I going to position my business so when I'm now able to get back to where I need to be, how am I going to be able to do that? What do I need? If you need a website, you need to get one. If you need social media presence or marketing or SEO or Google AdWords, you need to get it. Because if that's what your business needs, that's where you need to do to grow your business. Because you're thinking you need to increase your revenue and decrease your expenses. So for now, you're going to have to do that. And you have that time to actually give yourself decompress and just say, okay, I can do this. What do I need? That's the most important thing. And if you need to reach out to friends and things, you reach out to them. We all have different skills. And when we put them together, oh my goodness, it's such an amazing thing. And that is what I love about what you do, Ronnie, because you bring so many skilled people together that they don't even realize that's what you're doing.
Thank you.
And they just explode because it's always a success. I've never one day seen an event of yours that's like, oh yeah, but it was like, I had nobody, and the kids didn't do anything, and they just stood there. And I don't even see that, and I don't go to every single one. I know how busy you are.
Thank you.
So that's very important for me. I think I may not be a traditional because I come from a place of service. I've been a teacher, I've been in hospitality, it's always been management. It's never about doing a business of my own. So I'm also learning from other people daily. And I love that. I love the fact that we don't stop ourselves from learning.
Thank you
we
so
just have
much.
to keep going.
Sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt and cut you short. I know we can talk
No
forever.
problem, no problem. You know me, I could talk for
It's
Britain.
always a pleasure learning from you. Thank you so much, Esther. And I look forward to talking with you again next week.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right,
Thanks
darling.
so much for having me on.
Have a good one.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
Stay blessed. Adam, bye-bye.
Amazing people. As they say, iron sharpens iron. You know, we learn from each other. We educate each other. We take and we're sponging and we do everything together. And another amazing show. And we spoke today. We had a great time today. Today we talked about business. You know, every Wednesday we're going to talk about business. And we're going to gradually sharpen and increase and improve on more business topics and fine tune it more and more so we all can learn from each other. We had Chucks and Fred and Esther on the show today who gave us some enlightenment. Well, first of all, we spoke with Chucks, who they're doing some amazing work in Kent from his organization called Kent Housing, who they're working so hard to help the community as his corporate social responsibility. So well done, Chucks. Keep doing that work and keep doing what you're doing. It's always amazing to give back to your community. He talked about belief, having the belief and the right mindset. When you have the good belief and the mindset, that even if you're going through challenging times, that mindset, that belief will help you to think out of that problem, help you to think out of that challenge, so that you don't get stuck into that kind of mentality that, oh, we've got this big problem, oh, we can't get out of it. You know, and he talked about looking at for options. What options do we have? What options can I look out for? What other dimensions, what other streams can I link to help to make my business or my career better? I think we talked about this on Monday when one of the gentlemen talked about, if you are currently working and you like to do a business, don't just jump out your business. You need to make sure that the business that you've started is paying exactly what your job is giving you, and you're comfortable with that business before you start thinking of leaving your business. So don't just jump out your work and say, I'm going to start this business tomorrow, and then you've got no finance to fall back on. He talked about sales and marketing. How are we marketing at the moment? Are we marketing differently? How are you reaching the people? Are you taking in consideration the feelings and the emotions of these people? And then we talked with Mr. Fred, and Fred was talking about, this is a good time. This is a good time to build your capacity. This is a very good time for you to build yourself. He talked about, if you don't build yourself, it's going to be very difficult for you to be able to give back or to improve and to do that thing that you want to do. The more you build your capacity, the easier and the better it will be for you to be able to deliver in your role, deliver in your job, deliver in your business. Because the building is what you have inside you that you can bring out of you. It's what you have that you can teach. It's what you have that you can use to empower and help others. If you don't have it, if you don't empower yourself and accumulate that knowledge, it's going to be very difficult for you to impact others. If you're struggling in one particular thing, go and learn how to be better at that thing. It's not just there's no magic wand that just make a ping, then it's just going to get better. If you're struggling with your finances, go and learn how to be better at your finances. If you're struggling with your relationships, go and learn how to be better at your relationships. Have a good self-reflection. He also talked about investing in oneself, which is what I just talked about, which building your capacity by educating yourself through on internet, social media platforms, get books, and just invest in yourself, and you'll get better. For me, this program is a massive investment. The amount of information I'm getting, the amount of people that are talking and telling me things, is making me to think and improve myself. It's helping me to remember things that I knew before, and it's helping me to bring them out again. It's making me now to study more so that at least I have more information. So when I'm having a conversation with somebody, I understand the conversation. I'm also able to contribute. So in a way, it's building my own capacity. And we talked with Esther, the last caller. She talked about how she's understanding that business is not just all about pushing your product into people's faces. It's about talking to people, understanding the relationship that you have with your clients and your customers. It's a relationship. It's a relationship whereby you see them as people and they see you as somebody who cares about them. If you can get to that point where you have that's what builds loyalty. In business, it's called loyalty. So when you build that loyalty within yourself and your customer, then you have that relationship. Most importantly, this is so important, and I hope you get it, for people who organize events. The biggest thing that you can do and try to achieve is genuine loyalty, so that the people who come to your shows, who come to your events, who come to your activities, they know that you care. They know that you care, and that gives them that they relax and they enjoy your company all the time. So even if you mess up, they understand because you care. It's not just all about the money. It's not just all about, oh, you come in and go. When you do that, after a while, you lose that. You lose your customers. You lose your friendship. You lose your relationships. When people get to know that all you care about is money, and then they'll just treat you exactly the way you treat them. And finally, Esther talked about, she's running an online business. She talked about business relationship, talked about remember the people, and she ended up saying be disciplined. Try to be disciplined. She said she didn't used to plan her next day overnight, but now with this crisis, she's been very disciplined to do it regularly. She was doing it on and off, but now she's learned to do it every single time so that the next day is all planned out. And when you do that in your business, when you do that in your work, at your place of work, it helps you to deliver better. These are the 10 things I'm going to do tomorrow. When you list out the 10 things you're going to do tomorrow, you know that, okay, if you get to tomorrow and you can do 5 of those 10 things, fantastic. Then you carry those 5 away again to the next day, and then you do 6 the next day. So gradually, you are improving yourself until you start hitting 10 out of 10, which is then peak performance. Don't forget that when you're working or doing business, there's so many distractions. The phone calls, the person that comes to the door, the postman, so many things distracts you. So it's not easy to go through 100 emails and reply 100 emails and then still do your job. So I fully understand. Okay, my name is Ronnie Jacobs, the presenter for the Ronnie J Show. I want to thank you all so much. We've got some amazing guests joining us this week and also for next week. I had a great conversation, a great text from a gentleman called Chris Adeoye. I'm so glad he's joining us, and I can't wait to speak with him. He's one of the great people that I've learned from. And I've also got some great people in the pipeline, and the more we grow together, the more we can learn and get better together. So tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is Thursday, and on Thursday, we always talk about events management. So we've got some fantastic guests tomorrow to talk more about events. Once again, it's Ronnie Jacobs. I really, really appreciate you all so much. And it's always a pleasure talking with you. So I look forward to tomorrow. And please, as I always say, never give up. Never give up on your dream. Don't let anyone ever tell you you're not good enough. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't achieve what you are born to achieve. Together, we are making a difference. I love you and God bless you. Thank you. Bye.